You didn't want to fight him. You didn't want a rematch.
I had to restart the whole stream over again. So, as I was saying in the before, is this for the first 5 to 10 minutes or so of the stream, I bullshit around a little bit because what I want to do is I want to wait for more people to get here. We're going to talk about Provodnikov losing to John Molina. We're going to talk about Lomachenko knocking out Roman Martinez. We're going to talk about Demetrius Andrade's return to televised fights. We're going to talk about Wilder versus Arreola. But let me get a few things out of the way first. Now, doing these live streams really don't benefit me financially. And basically what I'm saying is I do these live streams and I actually lose money by not doing individual videos. So I'm doing this because I was hospitalized earlier this week. For those who've been following me for a long time, you know that I have chronic asthma. And truth be told, I shouldn't even be doing any videos or anything right now. So I did say last week that I was going to put out 20 or so videos this week. I got really sick on Monday, and I've been pretty much sick all week. So I'm doing this live stream to pretty much talk about everything all at once. If you don't know, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. And it's just been a crazy-ass night of boxing. It's crazy. It's crazy. We've had some really, really nice, solid, good fights. So, like I said, for about the first 5 to 10 minutes or so, I bullshit around. I wait for more people to come in. Now, for people who are watching this video when it's not live, there's a chat. There's a chat going on the side of the video. So I'm going to be answering questions and responding to those questions. So first, once again, I'll say, listen, bear with me. I'm laboring a bit with the breath. You know, I'm laboring a bit, talking, and I bruised my diaphragm from the coughing and whatnot. And frankly, I feel like shit, look like shit. But regardless, the show must go on. We're going to talk about some boxing. John Molina won a unanimous decision against Ruslan Provodnikov. On some people's counts, Ruslan Provodnikov was an 8-1 favorite to beat John Molina. John Molina is an up-and-down fighter. John Molina, you know, he's had many big fights in his career. I guess you can say the biggest win of his career or wins of his career is against Hank Lundy and Mickey Bay. He did have that fight of the year against Lucas Matisse, but then he had that very poor performance against Adrian Broner in which he failed the drug test. Now, there are already people speculating, you know, and I'm just reporting the news. I don't really have time for bullshit. So I'm just saying there's already people speculating that, well, we hope he don't fail another drug test. Because, I mean, he looked good, you know, and at first, the first couple of rounds, I thought he was fighting a bad fight against Provodnikov because he was fighting on the inside. Remember, Provodnikov is only about 5'5", with I forgot how short his reach is, but his reach is significantly shorter than all of the fighters that he fights. And what we saw John Molina do is we saw him use angles, and he threw 1,000 punches. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is I really wanted to see Adrian Broner versus Ruslan Provodnikov. Now, here's where things get a little hairy because people like to bring up race and all that old bullshit. Listen, it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not, you know, me picking, you know, against fighters because of their race. That shit is old, and that shit is, I was great. You know what? Fuck it. That shit is gay. That shit pisses me off when people just say, oh, you always picking fighters that's not black, and they suck. Just go suck a dick. All right? So, listen. We're going to talk about some boxing. I feel that Ruslan Provodnikov would still give Adrian Broner problems. Even though Adrian Broner beat John Molina, even though Ruslan Provodnikov lost to John Molina tonight, I don't feel that Adrian Broner will be able to fight the same fight as a John Molina. Now, what we've learned about Ruslan Provodnikov over the years is that activity beats him. Activity beats him. If you throw enough punches and you move enough, you have a chance, a very good chance, to beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Adrian Broner doesn't move enough, in my opinion, and Adrian Broner doesn't throw enough punches. Now, one thing I will say is Ruslan Provodnikov is just, you know, I was trying to look at what Joel Diaz has done differently for him. I did notice that there is some improvement in cutting off the ring, but the punch output and also Ruslan Provodnikov's power is somewhat questionable because he doesn't really sit on his punches. You know, he doesn't really sit on his punches. So there's a lot of things Provodnikov has to work on. And if you don't know, he signed a multi-fight deal with Showtime, and Bob Arum of Top Rank was pissed because they were in negotiations to fight Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford would have busted his face up. Terrence Crawford would have busted his face up. Now, here's the thing. Now, somebody just asked me in the chat, can Provodnikov handle Adrian Broner's power? Adrian Broner would probably bust up Ruslan Provodnikov's face. Yes. But the problem is Adrian Broner doesn't throw enough punches. He doesn't throw enough punches. And if Ruslan Provodnikov is not the type of fighter that will get knocked out. You know, Lucas Matisse whooped his ass. Lucas Matisse whooped his ass. You know, smashed his fucking face all up. But I don't believe Adrian Broner can do that. Adrian Broner, you know, has a lot of things to prove. He has a lot of things to prove. So where does Provodnikov go from here? I really don't know. So what we're going to do is, a little bit later on in the video, we're going to look at the top fighters in the 140-pound division. Because truth be told, I don't think that Showtime wanted John Molina to win. You know, John Molina is not, you know, I mean, John Molina's okay, but he's like always a B-side type fighter. So I'm wondering, where does John Molina go from here? I don't think he's going to be headlining the Showtime card. I don't want to be, you know, like sound like a hater or anything. I think he'll probably end up back on PBC as a B-side again. You know, just my personal opinion. Also, what you notice about Provodnikov is, have you noticed that he's always been talking about I'm going to die in the ring and all that type of shit? You know, then he goes in there and he fights a good fight, but he just hasn't been doing enough. He hasn't been doing enough. I was surprised to see John Molina fight the fight that he fought, to be honest with you. I was really, literally surprised. You know, he was really actually showing some good, solid boxing skills. Also, he came into the ring at 160 pounds. Ruslan Provodnikov came in at 148. Now, he did say at the post-fight interview that the unofficial scales are somewhat, you know, not accurate because he said he had on sweatpants and a phone in his pocket and all kind of stuff like that. But looking at him, watching him in HD, and go watch the replays, he looked huge in there. He looked huge in there. And also, he was taking some nice, clean shots from Provodnikov that I was thinking to myself, well, he didn't go down once. You know, he didn't even look hurt. You know, he didn't even look hurt. You know, and another thing to beat Ruslan Provodnikov is you got to have a solid jab. Like I said, Ruslan Provodnikov has like kangaroo arms. You know, he's got the T-Rex reach. So if you're able to stay, you know, if you have a height advantage and you're able to stay away, you have a good chance of hitting Ruslan Provodnikov with multiple punches before he's able to hit you with one. So, you know, honestly, I really don't know where John Molina or Ruslan Provodnikov goes from here. I mean, help me out. Who do you want to see Provodnikov fight next? Truth be told, you know, I really don't think he'll ever be a world champion again. You know, I don't know how he would do at 147. There's just some things missing. There's just some things wrong with Provodnikov. There's just some things wrong. You know, I don't know who I can honestly comfortably say at this point in time who he would and would not beat. Who he would and would not beat. Now, you have to understand, I would like to see him versus Juan Diaz. You have to understand, yes, head movement. He lacks head movement. Understand that he's now signed to Showtime. You know, so he's going to be fighting on Showtime. So even though Al Heyman and Bob Arum are going to be working together in the future, still you have fighters that are fighting on HBO, you know, like Timothy Bradley, and you have Ruslan Provodnikov who's fighting on Showtime. I would like to see a Timothy Bradley versus a Provodnikov rematch because we still don't know who Timothy Bradley is. Timothy Bradley is a confused fighter. Somebody said John Molina versus Omar Figueroa. Did you see Omar Figueroa? What fight was that? Was it last week or the week before when he was commentating? Omar Figueroa like 160, 70 pounds right now, man. I would say like 170. We don't know what weight class he's going to be in. He fought Antonio DeMarco at junior middleweight. You know, and like basically in his last 3 fights, he's fought in 3 different weight divisions. We don't know what the fuck is going on with Omar Figueroa with those brittle hands. And then not to mention he's got no defense. He's got no defense. Who will AB fight next? Honestly, from what I've heard, it was heavily rumored that if Provodnikov would have won, we would have saw Broner versus Provodnikov in the fall. That's true. That's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Broner versus Provodnikov in the fall. So now it's done. Mikey Garcia versus Molina. That's possible, but I see Mikey Garcia coming back whenever he does come back, whether he signs with Mayweather Promotions or not. And don't believe the bullshit. There's people circulating bullshit news out there that he signed with Mayweather already. He hasn't signed with anyone yet officially. But if Mikey Garcia, but when he does come back, expect for him to fight low-level fighters first. You know, expect that for maybe 1, maybe even 2 fights. But, you know, I mean, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. It lived up to what they said it was going to be. You know, it was pretty much war. You know, it wasn't like Vargas versus Salido, but it was pretty much war. It was pretty much war. So I really don't know where he goes from here. Honestly, I don't know. But if you don't know, for the people who are just getting here, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I shouldn't be doing this video. I'm sick as fuck. And we're just going to try to labor through. We need same-day weigh-ins. Ruslan lost because he outweighed by 15 pounds. If he won the 12th round, it would have been the draw. I don't think the weight really had too much to do with it, honestly. I really don't. But this was the biggest I've seen John Molina. This was like he was huge in there. He was huge in there. And yeah, I was expecting knockdowns. You know, but for people to say that Provodnikov is going to get knocked out, I've never seen Provodnikov hurt in a fight, ever. Don't get me wrong, he gets his face fucked up. Look what happened with Mauricio Herrera. Mauricio Herrera fucked his face up, and you know, well, they both fucked each other up. But you know, and one thing about Provodnikov is, you know, he was very humble in there. He's never been the type of fighter that, you know, would say that he won the fight, you know, when he know he didn't. You know, he was very humble in there. He was very humble in there. The next fight we're going to talk about is Andrade versus Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson got his ass whipped. Willie Nelson got his ass whipped. It's good to see Demetrius Andrade back because now that he's on Showtime, there are big fights that he can get now. Like, for example, the Charlo brothers. He is now, if I'm correct, unless he goes another route, Demetrius Andrade is next in line after Charles Hatley for the WBC title. Because he was put into that WBC tournament where he was supposed to fight Charles Hatley, but you know, I really don't know, you know, what happened with that. But yeah, Demetrius Andrade looked good. You know, he was looking sharp. There were certain times where you can see he was trying to trying to get the knockout early. He was trying to be exciting because he knows that at this point in time in his career, it's time for him to turn up. But he can now get fights with Lara. He can get fights with the Charlos. You know, Miguel Cotto ain't gonna fight him. Don't even mention Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto is really, really a diva. Dude don't want to fight no big fights. He want to fight fights where he's going to make money. He want to fight guys like, and this is true. He reached out, his team allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, but I know the truth, reached out to Diego Chavez, reached out to Brandon Rios, reached out to Juan Marquez reached out to him. And it was word that that fight was likely going to happen until Marquez got hurt. Miguel Cotto don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. He's in it for the money, and he's got that big Rock Nation contract that he has to fulfill. And his next fight is going to be on pay-per-view. He was supposed to be fighting on pay-per-view this month. So don't mention Miguel Cotto when it comes to names like Ayers Lindy Lara and Demetrius Andrade. He's not fighting those fights anymore. He's in this. He's in it for money. He's in it for money. Oh yeah, Miguel Cotto did reach out to Provodnikov. He tried to fight Provodnikov. Miguel Cotto tried to fight Provodnikov. So, you know, don't mention him, man. Don't mention him. So what we're gonna do is, let me see. Well, see, what the thing is, what's going on with HBO and Showtime is HBO is I don't want to say that boxing on HBO is dying. It's not, but they dramatically cut their budget for boxing to where no, I didn't talk about Lomachenko yet. To where Showtime has a bigger budget for boxing, and also they've noticed and know that HBO is slowing down with the boxing. So Showtime has been very aggressive in making fights and signing up fighters. For example, like Anthony Joshua. So that's what's going on with that. Now, HBO will always be, you know, HBO, and HBO boxing is legendary and classic. But when it comes to the future, Showtime is doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as being active and giving us good fights. Giving us good fights. And Lomachenko. Let's talk about Lomachenko. Dude is good, and he's getting better with every fight. I remember at one point in time, he was getting so much hate because people were really. This was another situation where race was playing a factor. Now, deep down, I felt to myself, Gary Russell just didn't have the power. I wish I had those videos still around, but Gary Russell just didn't have the power. And people were, you know, talking about how, you know, well, Gary Russell is this and everything, and that brother's going to win that brother. You know, like I still be so confused on, like, how do people think they're going to be successful in the long term, you know, in the long term with all this race baiting bullshit, you know, like how, you know, because when it really comes down to it, you really don't get no respect, you know, by the people who matter in boxing when you're always playing a race card, when it really comes down to it, truth be told. So, you know, but I'm not saying that, you know, for example, the Mexican and Puerto Rican rivalry. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have to ride for your race, but people just take that shit way too extreme. They just take that shit way too extreme. You know, like everything has got to be racist. You know, HBO hates black fighters. Ugh, just, you know, like shit like that. It just gets a little too outrageous sometimes. But anyway, what else are we supposed to talk about? There was some good fights on tonight. Dejan Zakalatalin, I forgot how to pronounce his name, but he's not a WBC interim. He's a good dude. I had a chat with him a couple times. WBC interim at 135 pounds. I don't think Loma's not pound for pound. Loma's not pound for pound yet. He's good. He's sick. Lomachenko is sick. You know, and he is a two-time, you know, two-division champion. So, you know, he's on his way to being #1 pound for pound. And dude is just so good. He literally, you can tell. Even like when they show the fights, when they show his replays in slow motion, you can see that he just looks so poised. You know, you can just see it. Like he always knows what he's doing. Remember where my homie Dean at? Remember the one time when he knocked Gary Russell Glove down, you know, just to, you know, like dude is sharp. Dude is sharp. Also, Willie Monroe returned tonight. Remember his last fight was last May against Golovkin. He looked pretty good against John Thompson III. John Thompson III is who Liam Smith, 154-pound champion, beat for the WBO title. Well, it was a vacant title. They fought for it. And people are talking about Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. That would be a fight I would love to see. That was a fight that was supposed to happen. It didn't happen, and Rigondeaux is now fighting Jazza Dickens July the 16th for the WBA title. I don't even know how Jazza Dickens is getting the title shot, but you know, hey, it's the WBA, so it's the WBA. But Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux, I don't see it happening, you know, anytime soon. Anytime soon. And truth be told, I don't see it happening at all, to be honest with you. I would love to see the fight, but I don't see it. I'm reading the chat. Loma versus Leo, can it happen? Yes, actually it can happen. Now that Bob Arum and Al Heyman are on speaking terms, and that they have said, or Bob Arum has acknowledged that he's been in contact with Al Heyman, and they're speaking pretty much regularly, and they're talking about what fights can and cannot be made. Yes, that's a fight that can happen, but Leo would have to move up to 130. And remember, Leo was at 122. Now he's at 126. You know, and he's fighting Carl Frampton. So we don't know if Leo's going to be moving up to 130 anytime soon. Yes, Leo is fighting Carl Frampton. Yes, I know. It can't happen. I'm not saying it can happen now, you know, but I'm saying it's a fight that politically there's nothing stopping it. For example, Lomachenko's not signed to HBO. You know, they might sign him. Lomachenko versus Gamboa at 130. Gamboa's been fighting at 135. I don't know if Gamboa can safely get down to 130 anymore. I don't know if he can safely get down to 130 anymore. I actually like Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz. I'm a big Carl Frampton fan, for those who know, and I think that Carl Frampton just bit off a little too much more than he can chew with this Leo Santa Cruz fight. Leo Santa Cruz is huge, you know, and Leo Santa Cruz throws over 1,000 punches a fight. You know, Carl Frampton's going to have to do a lot of moving. He's going to have to dance the night away. He's going to have to dance on the ceiling. He's going to have to do some dancing, man. Dancing. Nah, Loma doesn't have a contract with HBO. He's a top-ranked fighter, no contract. They could sign him, you know, and I'm pretty much sure that they're invested in him. Nicholas Walters, listen, when it comes to Nicholas Walters, see, here's what was going on with Nicholas Walters, from my understanding. He was seeing all that money that Al Heyman fighters was making, and he felt he should be getting $1 million purses too. Well, guess what? Al Heyman fighters are not making that money anymore. If you don't know, Al Heyman fighters, their purses has been low or lower than they used to be. And I can say that, taking what Bob Arum said or alluded to, is that their purses are now what they should be. Al Heyman fighters are not getting overpaid anymore. Go look at their purses. You know, and from my understanding, Nicholas Walters he wants to be making $1 million a fight. Now, Lomachenko said that he would give him $300,000 out of his purse. And he said he would legally sign it, you know, sign for him to get that. Because you know how fighters say, oh, I'll fight him for free. You know, I'll give him my whole purse. You know, no, he was really going to give him bread. Yes. Nicholas Walters priced himself out. Nicholas Walters priced himself out. There's no better way to put it. He priced himself out. And then his last fight, he didn't even, you know, it was a draw. It was a draw. So, you know, I don't know what's up with him now. I don't know who he's gonna fight. So now they're talking that Lomachenko versus Salido is likely next. And then after that, Lomachenko is supposed to be going for a unification against Francisco Vargas. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. In fact, that's what they were talking about. You know, they were talking about it last week during the Vargas Salido fight. Andrade will punish Canelo. I believe so with the reach. I believe so. Canelo's not a bum or anything. You know, Canelo's pretty good. But we saw the issues that Canelo has. Canelo has problems with boxers and movers. We saw that. We saw that. Hold on for a minute, guys. Hold on. But, you know, like I said, Rios versus Molina. Who do you have? That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I say that's a 50-50 fight. I say that's a 50-50 fight. I can't really say. But Canelo might be able to capitalize off of Andrade's aggression. That is true because Andrade may feel as though he has something to prove and may try to, you know, go for the knockout. And Andrade has been down on the canvas in the past. And also, you know, there was times. I mean, I'm going to, you know, even though he fought, you know, what was that, last year or earlier this year? I forgot, against Puchetta. I forgot. I believe it was in February. Even though he fought, you know, an untelevised fight, you can't say that he's really, really rusty. You can't say that he's really, really rusty, but he did look, you know, like he was trying to go for the knockout. He did look a little rusty. You know, I can say that. You know, maybe it was the jitters of, you know, him being on, you know, televised again. Damn it. Well, call me when I got a new phone and I cracked it on the fucking first day. I got a S7 Edge. Update on the last video. Mikey Garcia mansion only worth $1 million, not 25 million. Of course I know that. You believe that shit? You think Mikey Garcia got a $25 million mansion? He would have been a dickhead if that was true. He would have been a dickhead. But then again, I think $1 million is too much, you know, unless he got some type of signing bonus from somebody. So, but anyway, yeah, Lomachenko. Listen, I believe he cleans out the division. I believe he cleans out 130. Dude is just too good. What's next for Timothy Bradley? Here's something I've been hearing from some inside sources, and also Bob Arum has alluded to it, that him and Heyman are working on a very big fight for the fall. Now, if they're working on a very, very big fight, I believe that that's going to involve Timothy Bradley. Maybe it could be Timothy Bradley versus a Sean Porter or a Keith Thurman. I would love to see that. You know, maybe it could be a Timothy Bradley versus a Danny Garcia. I would love to see that. You know, so from what I'm understanding, they're working on a very, very big fight. And as you know, Timothy Bradley is pretty much a pay-per-view star. Win or loss. Win or loss. I'm trying to read some of these questions. Anthony Joshua versus Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale is not very good to me. You know, one thing I do want to see from Anthony Joshua is, no, I don't see Timothy Bradley versus Canelo. One thing I want to see from Anthony Joshua is, I really want to see him go to distance. Now, I'm not judging him. I know it's not his fault that he's getting these guys out of there. You know, I know these guys that he's been fighting, you know, that he's, you know, more skilled than these guys. But I really want to see him go to distance. I really want to see him. I really want to see how he looks. I want to see how he looks in rounds 10, 11, and 12. Now, you guys over in the UK, I understand that that's y'all dude. Y'all hype. You know, and they're saying, oh, he's so smart of a fighter. I'm sure he'll adjust and conserve his energy. We don't know that shit. You don't know that shit. That's why we need to see him go the distance. But like I said, it's not his fault. We can't be mad at him that he's knocking these guys out. We can't be mad at him that he's knocking these guys out. Kell Brook versus Vargas. I'm going to go with Kell Brook. And then after Kell Brook wins, if he wins, he's going to vacate and move up to 154, I believe. Now, it's been long rumored that Kell Brook has been having problems making 147 for a long time, even before he beat Sean Porter. It's even been said that the reason why the Diego Chavez fight didn't happen is not because of a rib injury, was because he was having trouble getting the weight off and he would have lost his belt on the scales. So, you know, when he goes to 154, he's going to have some problems up there. He's going to have some problems up there at 154. 154 is not easy. You know, it's not deep with names, but it's not easy. Also, Frank Warren has said that he had offered 600,000 pounds to for him to fight Liam Smith for the 154-pound title. He turned it down. Yeah, I seen the Zalatonicin fight. Dude is good. I told you. Well, if you don't know, I've been watching him for a while. He's a good dude. You know, we had a little chat about a year ago, I believe less than a year ago, around the time where he beat Ricky Burns. Brooks' chances at 154, I don't know. It's not, you know, I don't know. He's got some things he's got to work on. I wanted to see Brook versus Chavez because Diego Chavez is really a good fighter. As far as he may be Dirty Diego, he may, you know, he may be how can I put it? He may not be a guy that's going to go out there and knock you out, but Diego Chavez is going to give you a test. You're going to be tested fighting Diego Chavez. And I wanted to see how he would be able to deal with that because Brandon Rios couldn't cleanly beat Diego Chavez, and Timothy Bradley got a draw against him. So it would have been a feather in Kell Brook's cap if he was able to cleanly beat, maybe even stop Diego Chavez, because the only person to cleanly beat him was Keith Thurman. And remember, Diego Chavez, before he got knocked out, was giving Keith Thurman some issues, some major problems. Remember, go back and watch the fight. Go back and watch the fight. Andy Ruiz is not going to get a shot against Wilder anytime soon. But one thing about Andy Ruiz is he is close to being in a title eliminator. So Andy Ruiz, if he keeps winning, he's going to get a title shot sometime within the next year and a half, something like that. So Andy Ruiz is very close in to getting a title shot, and he's moving up the rankings. I forgot. I believe he's ranked very high by the IBF. I forgot. He's ranked it's most likely the WBO. He's ranked very highly with. Think about it. Andy Ruiz he is a fat fuck, you know, but he's been losing some weight, and he's got fast hands. Do you think Brook Khan ever happens? No. Amir Khan won't fight him. I know. I believe. I know the real reason, but it's not my place to say. It's not my place to say. But it's some deep shit going on with Amir Khan and Kell Brook. I know the truth. I know the truth. I know the truth. Kell Brook is not who you think he is. I'll just say that. He's not who you think he is. Go start digging deep. Go check the dark web. Go start checking the dark web. See what's going on with Kell Brook. You'll find out. I'm surprised y'all haven't heard this shit. Listen, it's not my place, man. Anthony Mundine is supposed to be going back to rugby, from what I understand. Yeah, the dark web is dark as shit. I've ventured and listen, man. All I gotta say is don't go to the dark web, yo. You're gonna find some fucked up shit. The dark web is darker than a motherfucker. I found out about the dark web on a fucking YouTube video. One of them top 10 videos and shit. Yeah, bro. Don't fuck with the dark web. But no. But Kell Brook's got some shit going on. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Look, people be stuck. Look, that's how you can tell motherfuckers be thirsty for information. One dude typed, Peter Perkins, you know shit, prove it. No, motherfucker, you go find out yourself. You go find out yourself. Listen, it's not really my place. It's not really my place. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. Yeah, there's no boxing in the dark. Of course, there's no boxing in the dark web. I was joking. I'm just saying, if you want to find out about what's going on with Kell Brook, you know the secrets of Kell Brook's life, then listen. I've heard some things, all right? And I started putting shit together. I started doing some research. And, hey, man, hey, you know, hey. Do you think we'll ever see a unified champion at 147? Well, Jesse Vargas or Kell Brook's going to be a unified champion. They're fighting September the 3rd of this year. It is pretty much official. From my understanding, they're waiting for, I believe it's some type of, you know, football team over there that they're trying to get the arena, you know, they're trying to get the arena secured, and they can't do it till the season's over. You know, people over in the UK know more of what I'm talking about. But yes, it's supposed to be happening on September the 3rd. And also they're trying to secure the dates with HBO and Sky Sports pay-per-view. Anything new on Robert Guerrero? Nah, he's pretty much on a vacation. Robert Guerrero is, you know, now pretty much a gatekeeper. Pretty much a gatekeeper. No, I don't fuck with the dark web no more, man. Listen, I can't listen doing that shit on the late night. Then I live by myself. I'd be scared, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be scared. Yeah, Marcus McDonald like literally 200 pounds. McDonald's like literally 200 pounds. Dude ain't coming back. And plus, the money he made from the Mayweather fights, it goes long. It goes far over there in Argentina. So he's got all these cows and shit. You know the cattle over there is you know, cattle is like gold. You know, so he made from both of the Mayweather fights, from my understanding, from both of the Mayweather fights, he made about 15 million. You know, from the back end. You know, like not his purses were like 4 million and 5 million, something like that. But he made some good money. You know, so over there in Argentina, that's like $60 million or some shit from what I heard. So he's good. He's good. He don't plan on coming back. Yeah, McDonald over there eating that contaminated meat. Listen, that Kell Brook shit is not my place. Y'all motherfuckers don't listen. Y'all can't get no hints. I'm giving you hints. Giving you hints. I can't talk about it. It's not my place, man. Not my place. Go do some research, man. Go check this shit out. It's not my place, bro. It's not my place. Broner, I don't know who Broner's going to fight next. Honestly, like I said earlier in the video, if you don't know, if Provodnikov would have won, Provodnikov versus Broner or Broner versus Provodnikov would have likely, I would say 90% happened in the fall. 90% happened in the fall. Okay, put it this way. I'll give you guys a hint. I'll give you guys a hint. Kell Brook got stabbed. All right? Go fucking do some research, man. Kell Brook got stabbed. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That Canelo lawsuit that he's going through right now is not going to hurt his career. It's just that Golden Boy is going to lose some money. That's not something that where, you know, they just, it's money. That's it. That's it. That's it. Dude shivved the shit out of fucking, Dude shivved the shit out of Kell Brook, yo. Dude shivved the shit out of Kell Brook. Shivved the shit out of him. Hold on, I saw a good question I was reading in the chat. Oh, somebody asked me who is Floyd's 50s going to be. Now, see, no real boxing fans want to see Mayweather versus McGregor. But here's the thing. People think just because McGregor's fighting at, what is that, UFC 202 or some shit against Diaz, that means that the Mayweather fight is dead. No, it's not dead. Listen to me when I say it is not dead. It will be a bigger fight if McGregor beats Diaz. You know, and also they wasn't talking about it happening in September. You know, they were talking about, the media were talking about it happening in September, but the real behind the scenes truth was they wanted to happen in December. You know, New Year's Eve. So listen, no, Mayweather McGregor is not just a listen, I'm telling you some real shit. Don't listen. I'm telling you some real shit. It's not just a publicity stunt. They are trying to make that fight happen. And it will be a bigger fight. And McGregor will talk even bigger shit if he beats Diaz in the rematch. Don't fall for the bullshit. They are trying to make that fight. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mayweather met with Dana White and Dana said, listen, I'll give you McGregor, but he's got to fight Diaz first. And, you know, listen, man, don't. I know y'all don't want to believe it, but listen, if the fight's not dead, the fight's not dead. Nobody knows what's going on with Danny Garcia right now. Rumor has it is that it may be Andre Berto. That's the rumor. Danny is not the front runner for Floyd Mayweather. No, he is not. No, he is not. Floyd Mayweather has told us himself that he is now in it for the money. He's an entertainer. He don't want that belt, and he's not going to make the money that he wants to make fighting Danny Garcia. You know, knowing what I know about the business of boxing, and what you should know at this point in time is Mayweather wants to make at least 70 to 100 plus million. At most, he'll probably make 30 million. That's a shitload of money, of course. But it's not the money that he wants to make. He'll probably make like 32 or less, you know, fighting Danny Garcia. Come on, man. Y'all got to start think like these boxers and these promoters, man. Y'all be fucking, listen. He's not going to make that money fighting Danny Garcia. I'm sorry. And plus, Danny Garcia's ratings have been dropping. You know, each fight that Danny Garcia's fought, if I'm correct, his ratings has dropped. I do think Berto has a shot in beating Danny Garcia. I do. But also, Andre Berto can get knocked the fuck out. Now, remember, I'm from Philly. I'm a big Danny Garcia fan. You know, I interview him every year now. You know, actually, every 6 months now, I interview Danny Garcia. I go to the gym. Yeah, like I said, listen, Mayweather versus McGregor would be, like, the build-up would be huge. Robert, you're onto something, bro. Keep going. Keep going. Keep digging deeper, bro. Keep digging deeper. Keep digging deeper, bro. I know some shit. But that's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about that. But anyway, why are people asking me I'm sitting on the toilet? Don't you see Al Heyman? You think I would disrespect Al Heyman like that? Think I would disrespect Al Heyman? Am I a McGregor fan? I am a growing, learning, currently being educated UFC fan. So I can't really say I'm a McGregor fan. However, I do like Holly Holm. That bitch fine than a motherfucker. I do some ungodly things to Holly Holm, yo. No, bro. Listen, Rob, listen. You think this shit is a game. I'm not joking, bro. There's some real shit out there. Some real shit out there with that Kell Brook, man. Anyway. Yeah, people have been saying that Holly Holm on the juice. I don't believe it, man. She's so sweet and innocent. I don't believe it. But if you look at it, when it comes to Canelo, who is Canelo going to fight at 154 for a belt? Canelo is not at he's not fighting at 155 or 160 anymore. You know, anytime soon. Why? Is because that's going to make him look like a clown. So his next fight is, trust me, it's going to be at 154. It's going to be at 154. It's going to be at 154. Yeah, I'm on steroids right now. I'm juicing. I'm on steroids. I don't care. Canelo versus Andrade. Who wins? I already answered that. I got Andrade. Andrade versus Laura. Who wins? That's a tough one. That's a 50-50 fight. Parker versus Hay. David Hay. I got David Hay over Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, you know, even though he won against Carlos Takam, David Hay is better than Carlos Takam. Will Kelbrook make some noise at 154? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I really want to see what he looks like. I really want to see what he looks like against Jesse Vargas. Yeah, I'm on steroids. Yeah, it's called prednisone. It's a anti-inflammatory steroid for my asthma. But steroids are steroids, right? You know, it's a banned substance. I checked the list. I checked the VADA banned substance list. So yeah, I'm on that banned shit. Yeah, I'm on them PEDs. I'm on those PEDs. Yeah, Shannon Briggs, man, is slow as fuck. Yo, Shannon Briggs is slow as fuck, yo. Shannon Briggs has done a good job, you know, selling his career and getting his career back on track, but he's slow as fuck. Do I think that Mikey Garcia should sign with the money team? Honestly, yes, I do. Because they can get the biggest fights for him. They can get the biggest fights for him. Because it's basically, if you don't know by now, then you're a goddamn idiot. Al Heyman runs Mayweather Promotions, okay? Al Heyman is Mayweather Promotions. So it's like you sign with Mayweather Promotions, you're basically signing with Al Heyman. Will we ever see Maypac 2 if McGregor loses to Diaz? It's possible. It's possible. But the biggest issue that will stop that fight is Pacquiao is now a senator, and it would be hard to fit in a training schedule, you know, a training camp with him being a senator. You know, Pacquiao was like, you might as well say he's literally retired. He's literally really retired. See, here's the thing about Mikey Garcia and if he signs with Golden Boy Promotions. What big fights can they, I'm talking about big fights, can they get from Mikey Garcia at 135, 140, or 147? What big fights? Compared to all the big fights he can get if he signs with Heyman or Mayweather Promotions. You get me? I can only name maybe a couple of big fights that he can get with Golden Boy Promotions. I understand, you know, the whole Mexican thing, you know, that, you know, Golden Boy is a Mexican promotional company, and also they got those up and coming Mexican stars, but it's no long-term big fights for him. Mikey Garcia is still a free agent. He's testing the waters. He's trying to figure out where he's going to go. Crawford hands down will outbox Postol? Could be, but Postol is not no chump. I've been watching Postol for about 3 or 4 years now, and he's not no chump. He did have problems with Hank Lundy, though, and, of course, Hank Lundy, you know, got knocked out by Terrence Crawford. No, see, here's the thing. People think that Mayweather hates Pacquiao and that he don't like Pacquiao. No, that's actually not the truth at all. That's actually not the truth at all. He didn't like the fact that he didn't claim he didn't accept his defeat. That shit pissed him off. But as far as him, like, hating Pacquiao, nah, that shit was over after he made that $300 million. Mayweather's not dumb. He knows that if he wants to make another $100 million, he fights Pacquiao again, because no matter what you say, or how you feel, Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2 would still be one of the top 3 selling pay-per-views of all time. Still. I don't know what's next for David Lemieux. I forgot what was next for David Lemieux. I heard something and I forgot. I heard something and I forgot. I heard something and I forgot. Yeah, exactly. Socrates, how can you hate somebody that made you $300 million? Mayweather is all about the money now. He's all about the money. Yeah, he knocked out Tapia, but no, I came across some news about who he was being rumored to fight next, and I forgot who. Now, of course, it's not going to be for a title, because he already lost to Golovkin. He might fight James De La Rosa again, since that fight didn't go through the first time. Will you watch Maypac 2? What kind of dumbass question is that? I got to cover the fight, man. Come on. Be grown. Of course I'm going to watch it. I got to cover the fight. I know TMT is Al Heyman. I know that. I said that already. Bro. Heyman is not Mayweather, bro. What? Wait. What are y'all talking about? Y'all talking some dumb shit, man. But yeah. So what are we supposed to be talking about? My lungs are starting to clear up a little bit. Yes, if you sign with TMT, you're fighting Heyman fighters. Yes, that's true. When will we see Ward Kovalev? I forgot the exact date, but it's already signed and sealed for November. Andre Ward is desperately trying to get a fight for late next month in July on HBO. Word is it might be Nathan Cleverly. But yes, we will. It's no doubt about it. Kovalev versus Ward is happening in November. Should Rios be the next fight for Victor Ortiz? I would love to see that fight. Do you know the backstory behind that? Victor Ortiz is fucking crazy. He sent like these goons after Brandon Rios. He sent these goons after. Go look up the story, yo. He sent like these people after Brandon Rios, sent them to his crib and all kind of shit. Lemieux versus Lara at 160. Who you got? I would probably go. I don't know, man. That's a tough fight because Lara's a small 154 pounder. As far as he's a real 154 pounder. He's a guy that will weigh in at 153 and a quarter and then come in the ring like 158. Something like that. So I feel it would be kind of similar to what happened with Alfredo Angulo. Yeah, that is the 19th. Yeah, that's the date I heard too. I did the video. Ortiz bitch ass sent goons after Brandon Rios. Go look it up. Go look up Victor Ortiz Brandon Rios beef. It was some crazy shit. He sent like assailants after him, assassins. Do you think Kell Brook will try to fuck Amir in the way hits? I don't know what you mean, bro. I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that, bro. So does Lara move up and fight Golovkin? Oh, this is some other news I heard. Golovkin's next fight is going to be in September. And from what I've heard, it's supposed to be the biggest opponent he's ever faced. Not physically big, but name-wise. Now, I wanted to be Erislandy Lara. I wanted to be Erislandy Lara so bad because if he fights Erislandy Lara, he'll silence a lot of critics. But also, the bad part about it is there's going to be people that's still going to not give him credit and say, oh, well, why don't he fight somebody in his own weight division? They'll say he'll fight a small Erislandy Lara, but he won't fight an Andre Ward. That's what they'll say. That's what they'll say. Poop. I smell like poop. You got some type of sensors in here, man? Also, what was I going to say? Hold up. I was reading a question. Oh, if you don't know, we're going to talk about Eubank Jr. and Golovkin. If you don't know, Thurman versus Porter is having a 4-part all access, but they're doing something different. They're playing it on the internet this time. I'm going to be covering all of them. And Eubank Jr. is saying that he wants to fight badly. So he's fighting Tom Doran or Tom Dolan, I forgot. But I did watch a couple of fights, and he's not bad. He's going to be fighting him on the undercard of Joshua versus Brazil. And after that, he's saying he's going to chase Golovkin. And honestly, to be truth be told, I actually seen Eddie Hearn pursuing that fight. Why do I see Eddie Hearn pursuing that fight? Because he would love for Eubank Jr. to get 3 belts. Remember, Golovkin has 3 major titles. You know what that would mean for the UK? You know, if they get, you know, a unified champion with 3 titles in a unification fight. And then imagine if, see, this is the way I think they're thinking when it comes to Eubank versus Golovkin. If, we're just saying if, now follow me when it comes to politics. If Eubank beats Golovkin and Billy Joe Saunders is still out there bullshitting, not trying to fight Golovkin, you know how much of a big fight Eubank Jr. as the WBC, IBF, and WBA champion versus WBO champion Billy Joe Saunders would be in the UK. I'm not even from the UK. I know that would be bananas. That would be an undisputed. That would be bananas. That would bring Box Nation and Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn to work together. Lemieux versus Canelo. I got Canelo. Golovkin versus Jacobs is not happening until at least the beginning of next year, because Danny Jacobs is very close to being finalized to fight Sergio Mora in the rematch on the undercard of Frampton versus Santa Cruz versus Frampton, July the 30th. Yeah, Verdejo was good. I don't know what I think about Jacobs versus Mora too just yet. Just yet. Now remember, Sergio Mora, and I was at that fight. I covered that fight. Sergio Mora told me personally that he was going to knock out Danny Jacobs. And I remember I'm sitting there interviewing, and I'm thinking like, well, damn, you're not known for knocking people out. So then I go tell Danny Jacobs in an interview, go watch the video. I go tell Danny Jacobs in an interview that, yo, Sergio Mora said he's going to knock you out. And sure enough, he did knock him down. That fight would have been a good fight, though. I do. A lot of people don't want to see it because they want to see Jacobs versus Golovkin. But if that's not going to happen, I do want to see that more rematch. I am interested in that. If Golovkin secures Billy Joe Saunders and wins the WBO, what's next for that? I mean, what's next for him after that? Likely mandatories. Because remember, when you, in this day and age, unless it's the WBA, you got to fight your mandatories. So look at it like this. Any fighter that wants to move to 160 and get a title shot, they got to go through Golovkin. That's if it's Lara. That's in one of the Charlos is supposed to be moving up. That's if it's Andrade, Peter Quillen, all those guys. They gotta go through Golovkin. I said it a couple years ago before Peter Quillen lost, before he dropped his belt. I really felt that Peter Quillen would be able to beat Golovkin. I said that a couple of years ago. I don't feel that way now. I don't feel that way now. No, he didn't just twist his ankle. He broke his ankle. If not Sanders, then who? You know, either Chris Eubank Jr. or Erislandy Lara. Yes, the Loma versus Salido rematch is going to happen. It may happen sooner than you think. I'm talking about maybe in November, September and November. It's going to happen. HBO pretty much already just said it. They pretty much said it. It's going to happen. No, Chavez is close to being finalized to fight Jalen Love. You have to understand. You have to understand that Chavez Jr. is a Heyman fighter, and Gabriel Rosado is a Golden Boy fighter. They're not working together yet. They're still in a lawsuit. They're still in a lawsuit. So when I heard that, I'm thinking, how the fuck they're gonna make that happen? You know, I knew that was just the fighters going back and forth. It wasn't really nothing, you know, to make me believe that that fight was gonna happen. I want a hot pocket, man. I'm hungry as fuck. I haven't been eating for like the last 3 days or so. You know, I've been really fucked up, man. Barely able to walk and shit. I think Quillin is mentally broken. Quillin hasn't been the same since he dropped his title. He should have never dropped his WBO title, but when the big guy says drop your title, you drop your title. You know? When the big guy says you drop that shit, you drop that shit. Oh, and also, I don't believe that Chris Eubank Jr. beats Golovkin. In fact, I believe that Golovkin beats the dog shit out of Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. don't got no like defense. You be seeing him when he be doing that shit, and he be getting punched over the neck and all that by bums. James DeGale versus Badou Jack. James DeGale. I've been sick. I haven't had an appetite. That's why I haven't been eating. I haven't had an appetite. I had a real bad asthma attack earlier in the week. For those who were here last week for the Google Hangout, I said I was going to do 20+ videos this week. I couldn't do nothing. Literally, I've been in bed for like the last two and a half days or so. Chavez or Jalen Love. Honestly, I'm going to go with Chavez. I'm going to go with Chavez. I'm going to go with Chavez. Going to go with Chavez. Spence should fight Danny Garcia. Let's stop the bullshit. Well, Spence is on the IBF path. I've said this for a year now. He was supposed to be fighting Panoman. I forgot how to pronounce his name. Can somebody type his name in the chat? But he hurt his hand. So now he has been ordered to fight Leonard Bundu. And the winner of Spence versus Leonard Bundu is the mandatory for Kell Brook. Now, the IBF has kind of been doing Errol Spence dirty, because he should have been the mandatory, you know, after the Alejandro Gonzalez fight or the Chris Van Herden fight. So they just keep getting him in these yeah, I want a hot pocket. In fact, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put me a hot pocket in the microwave. I want to put some shit on in the background so you guys are not yeah, that's who it is. Let's go, champ. So you guys are not bored. There's something yellow on my hat. Oh, you're lying, motherfucker. I don't know why I listen to you, son of a bitch. So let's say if DeGale wins, does he fight Ramirez next? No, I believe he's going to move up to 175 pounds. I know Badou Jack said for sure that he feels that his last fight at 168 will be against James DeGale. Spence versus Porter. Who wins? See, I can't see. Errol Spence hasn't fought anybody, man. I don't like rating fighters against other fighters, you know, when they don't have any real good names on their resume. But honestly, like in my heart, I feel that Errol Spence will beat Sean Porter. But then again, Errol Spence hasn't fought anybody that's going to be right in his face like Sean Porter is. I don't think it's time for Ruslan retire just yet. I just think that he's missing some key things, and that Joel Diaz hasn't helped him much. He has gotten better in cutting off the ring a bit, but that's about it. That's about it. Spence versus Diego Chavez will be a good fucking fight. But Diego Chavez is having so many issues. Remember, Diego Chavez ain't been making no money. Oh, and Diego Chavez is having issues with his manager or promoter. That's why he hasn't been getting any fights. Remember, Diego Chavez made like $35,000 $35,000 if I'm correct against Timothy Bradley, and then made like $15,000 against Brandon Rios. Dude ain't making no bread. Dude ain't making no. Dude ain't making no bread. Like, if I cough too hard, I get this painful ass spasm right here. Yeah, I did hear that on the dark web that Hillary Clinton is a dyke. You know, even Bill Clinton said himself, you know, she's been with more women than me. He really did say that. Yeah, what up, Carlos Molina? No, not that Molina from Hobbs, New Mexico. No, not that Molina that did the statutory rape, you know, that fought Paul Williams. And no, not that Molina that fought Amir Khan. Some other Molina. Some other Molina. I want to see Matisse fight again. Matisse ducked Mauricio Herrera. Also, just because Mauricio Herrera lost his last fight, I don't think he's done yet. In fact, I think Mauricio Herrera is going to get more fight offers now because people think he's weak. People think he's sweet. Yeah, listen, I know a lot about politics and all those shit. Yeah, I do believe Lucas quit against Postol talking about his eye and shit. I do believe he quit. Hold on, guys. I'm going to make a hot pocket. Let me put some shit on. I don't know what to put on. Spence would knock Chavez out. Yeah, he could. He could. But it would be a very good fight for his career, though. You know, and it's Chavez with an S. He's very good. You know, he's a good fight for up-and-coming fighters like Errol Spence. Now, if Marcos Maidana would have kept fighting after Floyd Mayweather, he would have fought nothing but big fights. Errol Spence would have been too low for him. He would have been fighting guys like Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and Adrian Broner again. Remember, Marcos Maidana he fought Money Mayweather twice. Money Mayweather, you know, he's a stud. Marcos Maidana was a star. Marcos Maidana was a star. He didn't fight Pretty Boy, he fought Money Mayweather twice. He had Money Mayweather doubting that he won the fight. I remember that. Remember at one point in time when they was reading the cards, Floyd went to go put up his hands and he put them down. He thought he lost. It's who broke. It's who broke Jay Rockefeller. Yeah, Marcos Maidana ain't coming back. He is fat and happy with his cows, with his cattle. And he got a bunch of guns and shit, too. He got a bunch of pieces. Whew. Who would win? Money. I always thought about that. Who would win, Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy Floyd? Honestly, see, Pretty Boy Floyd, in my opinion, was more aggressive and had more power. Money Mayweather is smarter and more disciplined, I guess. But that's hard to say because, you know, Pretty Boy Floyd wasn't no joke. Pretty Boy Floyd will beat you the fuck up. Like, literally, he was knocking motherfuckers the fuck out and taking hard shots. Garcia did lose to Herrera, in my opinion. And a lot of people's opinions. What's up, Aaron Spartley? You're new, bruh? Or is that Aaron, like the girl Aaron? I'm hungry as shit. Broner versus Ortiz is big money. Yes, that would be. Yes, that would be. But see, the problem with Victor Ortiz is he's now really hard to market because he's got the reputation of being a bitch. And then, you know, after your fight, if people throwing like chicken bones and shit at you, you see the video, you know, when he's walking back after the Berto fight, and, you know, they throwing, you know, one dude had the whole box, and he was waiting for him to walk past and then just threw that shit. Like, fuck that, man. Like, he's got the reputation of being a bitch, man. So it's hard to market Victor Ortiz, because what's going to happen with Victor Ortiz? It's either he's going to quit or he's going to get knocked down and get up and act like he was just so dazed and out of it. Man, fuck that, man. Fuck Victor Ortiz. I don't ever want to see him fight again. I don't ever want to see him fight again. No, I don't think that Pretty Boy Floyd was school Money May. I think Pretty Boy Floyd, if he was to win, he would beat the shit out of Money May. But if anybody was to school anybody, it would be Money May schooling Pretty Boy. Why are we still talking about Victor Ortiz? I don't want to talk about that dude, man. I don't want to talk about that dude, man. I think dude's a clown. I'm sick of Victor Ortiz. I think he's a sucker. No, I was chicken bones in that pizza box too. Dude was literally, he was waiting for it to walk by. As soon as Victor Ortiz walked by, he threw that shit right at him. You know, Mexicans don't fuck around, man. Yo, Mexican boxing fans, they don't fuck around. Mexican boxing fans do not fuck around, man. Loma versus Vargas. I'm going to go with Lomachenko. Vargas is more of a brawler, you know? Yeah, Pretty Boy reflexes was crazy. Pretty Boy was fast as fuck, you know? And he had that movement. What I noticed about Pretty Boy Floyd is Pretty Boy Floyd was able to move and box off of the back foot, in my opinion, better than Mayweather. But that comes with age, right? Mayweather, you know, he's older. To whereas in Mayweather now, Money May, it looks like he be running, you know? He's not, you know, the man's damn near 40, literally. He's damn near 40. So, you know. Yeah, you know, in his last 6 fights, as you know, or if you don't know, Chris Arreola is going to be getting a shot at Deontay Wilder July the 16th. And I believe it's PBC on Fox. PBC on Fox, free TV. And Chris Arreola is 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest, and 1 draw in his last 6 fights. Also, like a friend of mine, Chip Mitchell said, is that Wilder fighting Chris Arreola is fighting a guy who failed the drug test. Yes, Chris Arreola failed the drug test for weed, but still, a failed drug test is a failed drug test. You know, how are you fighting? You know, Arreola after he failed the drug test, but yet you talking the shit about Povetkin. And then, you know, I mean, I guess you're going to say, well, you know, he just only smoked weed. But still, you know, you shouldn't be fighting a guy that failed the drug test, in just my opinion. Just my opinion. Well, why people are crucifying Povetkin is because he failed the drug test. Now, his last drug test came back clean. You know, so and truth be told, VADA is the best drug testing organization out there, in my opinion. I'm 50-50 on if I believe that Povetkin did anything illegal or not. I'm 50-50 on it. I already did a video on it last week and the week before. No, it's not about the fact that of weed and PEDs. It's not about that. It's about a failed drug test. So in my opinion, I think, well, if you failed the drug test for weed, don't tell them what else you done did. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's not about whether it was weed or not. It's the fact that you failed a drug test. Wilder shouldn't be fighting anybody who fails drug tests. Give him the title shot. By the way, also he's now ranked. Remember, for people who were here a couple of weeks ago when I did the video, I said watch that Chris Arreola. If he does get the Wilder shot, he's going to be magically ranked by the WBC. He is now ranked number 9 by the WBC, according to Mauricio Sulaiman. Y'all missing the point. Y'all missing the point. It's not about the weed. It's not. It's about the test. I don't give a fuck what you took. It's about you failed a drug test. I don't care what it was for. You know, a guy who's talking about a clean sport, Wilder and all that. You shouldn't be fighting nobody that fails a drug test for anything. Anything. But that is true. I do feel that that Arreola does have a chance against Wilder. It's crazy. You know, he does have a chance. Even though he's a good chance he'll get knocked out, he does have a chance against Wilder. He does have a chance. I haven't got it yet. I haven't moved yet. I haven't moved yet. So you'll see the new studio when I move. I haven't moved yet. It's been a lot of shit going on. My name is Terrell. My name is Terrell. Money does dominate the pocket with the shoulder roll and sharp counters. Like, in my opinion, Money Mayweather is a much more better defensive fighter than Pretty Boy Floyd. But anyway, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some fucking post-fight interview on from tonight. Which post-fight interview y'all want to hear? Because I'm gonna put a hot pocket in the microwave. I'm gonna put a hot pocket in the microwave. That's gonna be boss right there. Remember people used to say that? What happened to that? People don't say boss anymore. They used to be like, well, you know, oh, I got this pizza yesterday. That pizza was boss. Or yo, those new LA gears you got on are boss. What happened to that, man? What happened to that? Who wins? Ruiz or Arreola? Ruiz. Ruiz got nice hands. He's got some fast ass fat hands, yo, for a fat person. No, I'm not on crack, man. I'm on prednisone and I'm on albuterol. And if you don't know, it speeds up your heart rate, makes you all fucking jittery and shit. Why I gotta be on crack, bro? Crack cocaine? Why? There's way more better designer drugs out there. I wouldn't use no crack. Yeah, let me get my hot pocket. Let me put on a post-fight interview from some shit. It takes 2 minutes to microwave. It takes 2 minutes to microwave. Damn, I gotta fast forward this shit. I don't feel like it. Oh, by the way, Willie Monroe won the night. We talked about it earlier in the video, but he's back. He got a knockdown with his wrist. Dark Web says Tranny stabbed Brooke. Dark Web. The dark web, yo, ain't no joke, man. I'm gonna fuck with that. I thought, yo, listen. You know how sometimes you might just be on a computer just searching fucking shit? For example, over the last like 3 weeks, I've been watching nothing but like World Trade Center and 9/11 documentaries, man. Yeah, it wasn't a tranny. Listen, I can't say nothing about it. Listen, if you want to know what's going on with Kell Brook and why Amir Khan won't fight him, see, Rob, you didn't go far enough. Listen, I know the truth. I know the truth. That's all I gotta say. And then I started doing like some deep research. I started putting shit together. And I started talking to people. And I'm thinking like, yo, you right. You right. You right. Somebody was like, you know, where I don't want to say his name because I don't want him to get in trouble. I'm like, where's all Kell Brook's mates? Where's all his homies? I know where they are. I was like, you motherfucker. Kell Brook's a good fighter, though, man. Kell Brook's a good fighter, though, man. You know, whatever you do in your free time is cool with me, bro. I mean, not really, but, you know, teach his own. Teach his own. Stop saying you love me, bro. That shit's kind of weird. You're freaking me out. You're freaking me out. Seriously, my insides are touching. Hell yeah, I eat Hot Pockets. I will fuck a Hot Pocket up. Ain't they 2 for $5? Two boxes for $5? I will fuck a Hot Pocket up. You found it, Robert. You found it. It's deeper than that, bro. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's deep. Listen, it's deeper than that. If you go check out, like, listen, I can't say no more, man. I can't say no more. I can't say no more. They're gonna get me banned from for life. They'll get me like, what if I go to the UK and want to go to a fight? No, the dark web is the dark web, bro. It's just the dark web. It's self-explanatory. It's dark, and it's a web. It's the dark web. You know. If Spence were with TMT, would he be fighting Brook? No, because it's all Al Heyman. It's all Al Heyman. No, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm fast forwarding the Provodnikov fight. So what's going to happen is I'm going to play that shit in the background and go warm up my Hot Pocket, put it right here, and start snacking on that shit. Start snacking. I got some fucking gourmet burgers too. I don't feel like cooking them. Got some gourmet burgers. No, see, Robert, you on to something, but you haven't found it all yet. Trust me. Listen, you're right. You're on the right path, but you ain't found it yet. You ain't found it yet, bro. All right, let me turn this shit on. I'll be back. Look at my Hot Pocket.
Think that you can give Provodnikov, you can't make a case that Provodnikov won this fight. How much you thought Molina won by is debatable. I had him winning 7 rounds to 5, with Provodnikov taking 2 of the last 3.
All right, thank you very much. As a big win for John Molina on this Hall of Fame weekend, and let's go back to Brian Custer.
All right, Mo, thank you. Go back to what Molina told us. He said, listen, if I can get this fight past the 6th round, I think Provodnikov starts to lose some steam. I can take advantage of that. Hey, congratulations, John Molina. You know what? He got himself a big victory, and Provodnikov told us, no, I hate leaving my fate in the hands of the judges. He did that tonight. He suffers a defeat. We'll have more in a moment, but first, here's what's coming up on Showtime. You have it all under control, Raymond.
You share your pain with me?
You shouldn't have done that to your Ray.
Not all people who hurt people.
I'm still your father. And that's your sentence. Maybe God intends for me to do what I do.
Two cities ago, the band Stalker got backstage and firecrackers went off in the middle of the shop. I'm going to live with all the members until I understand what it is you actually will do. The key is family. If you need to get, you'll realize you're not alone.
Let's recap our night of boxing. We began with the vacant WBC lightweight title on the line. Dejan Slatichinin, Franklin Mamani, and Slatichinin jumped right on him at the very beginning of this fight. That left hook there was the thing that stopped him in the 3rd round. 54 seconds in the 3rd round. Slatichinin walks away with a victory and the WBC lightweight title. Next, Demetrius Andrade, Willie Nelson. Andrade back in the ring after nearly 2 years out. He dropped Willie Nelson 4 times. Dropped him there in the 11th round. And then in the 12th round, he stops Willie Nelson. Demetrius Andrade is back He walks away with a 12th round TKO. And in the main event, Ruslan Provodnikov, John Molina Jr. This one was an all-action fight with both guys just throwing blows. But how about Molina using the jab, using his height, using some movement? And it was Molina who walks away with unanimous decision. Tonight's Showtime Championship Boxing several re-airs, so in case you missed any.
All right, I'm back.
Or you just want to watch the fights again, check out our replays on Showtime and Show Extreme. Coming up next, it is the premiere of Episode 4 All Access Rush for the Stanley Cup. Exclusive access to the Pittsburgh Penguins, San Jose Sharks, as they battle for the Stanley Cup. Episode 5 will air Friday, June 17th. Looking ahead to June 25th, full day of boxing. Newly crowned heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua makes his first title defense against Dominic Brazil. It's live from the O2 Arena in London, and a stacked card of world title fights in prime time on CBS. Keith Thurman takes on Showtime Sean Warner, and Jesus Cuellar takes on Abner Mars. Now for Al Bernstein, Noro Ronaldo, Paulie Malignaggi, Steve Farrell, Jim Gray, and our entire Showtime Sports Crew. I'm Brian Custer. Good night, everyone.
Hot Pockets. Yeah, what were we talking about? What were we talking about? Also, I gotta stop telling people. Like how I'm gonna do shit, because I notice people keep copying me, man. I'm getting tired of it. Where's people creativity? Where's people originality, man? I'm tired of people copying my shit. I'll say something, then all of a sudden people start doing it too. That should be pissing me off. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna start writing articles now and shit. All of a sudden people writing fucking articles, and now you want to write articles last week, week before that. Well, I'm gonna start doing this. Wasn't doing that shit before. I'm teaching people way too much shit, man. I'm teaching people way, literally, I'm not joking. I'm teaching people way too much shit. Like, I done did so much educating on YouTube about, you know, how to do shit and how I'm progressing. Then people start doing the shit I said I was, you know, it's just crazy. It's just great. Bro, I like how they did this shit. I like the little fucking thing so you can fucking hold the hot pocket. Remember, it used to be like that. You used to hold this hot-ass hot pocket in like a napkin or something. Times have changed. Mike Alvarado was back. Remember Mike Alvarado got like booked like 2 weeks before his fight with like this weed? But you know, weed is legal in Colorado, so can't really be mad at him. But I'm not really sure about Mike Alvarado yet. He's taking a lot of damage. In his big fights, he's taking a lot of damage. Remember when Marquez hit him and he went flying across the ring? This is a chicken and cheese hot pocket. It is delicious, man. It's delicious. It's delicious. Yeah, I saw Mike Alvarado last fight. Oh, he's fighting next month. I did hear he was fighting again. Yeah, Marquez fucked him up too. That was a good fight, him and Marquez, though. But, you know, Marquez is like the Terminator. He's a genetic specimen, so, you know, And he drank piss. So, you know, you can't trust a man who drinks piss. 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 Pee-pee. Tinkle. So delicious. I'm gonna cool off some. I'm gonna cool off some. Shane Mosley's career is over. You know, it's a shame that he finagled his way into a title eliminator. Let me tell you what Shane Mosley did. Let me tell you what he did. This is real shit. It's not a joke. After Shane Mosley beat Ricardo Mayorga last summer, he went to Venezuela or Panama. I forgot where the WBA is based. He went down there and met with the WBA president and had some bullshit fight and maneuvered his way into being a #1 contender for Thurman versus Porter if he won, you know, against that Evanescence guy that he fought, whatever the fuck god dude name was. So now a lot of people are pissed because now the winner of Thurman versus Porter has to fight this Evanescence guy, you know. So it's you know, look it up. So people are going to be pissed, you know, and saying, who is Sean Porter and why is Sean Porter and Keith Thurman fighting these bums? You know, but the guys are mandatory. Also, I want to know what they're going to do with the Super World title. The WBA is just fucked up, man. WBA is just fucked up. But dude made Shane Mosley look like a real bum. Dude made Shane Mosley look bad. Shane Mosley is done. He's done. He literally is done. What else is he going to do? He did a good job selling himself, getting his career back on track, because on Twitter, he be talking like this Tupac is back type shit. Like literally, Shane Mosley be on some Tupac shit on Twitter. But, you know, he's done. Hot pocket. Good. I want to make another one. No, his son ain't good. I don't know. Shane Mosley Jr. ain't good. In fact, he almost lost his fight. His fight, he put on the undercard of his pop and almost lost. His son ain't good. Yeah, no, the WB. Listen, Shane Mosley went down and met with the WBA president, stayed at his crib or some shit. They had like this barbecue or something. And then all of a sudden, voila, Shane Mosley is fighting for some fucking bullshit WBA belt. No, like I said, let me say it again. People have been pissed that I haven't been doing my individual videos. This Google Hangout shit is only temporary. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to do live streams, you know, after fights, but I'm just doing these more. So I can be able to get all the news out there since I'm not doing the individual videos. So, truth be told, I actually lose a shitload of money doing these live videos. I lose a shitload of money. It's more beneficial for me to do individual videos. But I do these pretty much, I guess, I might as well say for the fans and for you guys. So, you know, I can get all the news out there. Get all the news out there. But yeah, when I heard that Shane Mosley was like he won some, I'm gonna show you what belt he won. I'm gonna show you what belt he won. It was some bullshit WBA belt. And it's crazy because he had just met with the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza. Let me see. Hold on, let me share the screen. What was it? In Panama, the WBA Continental Super title. You know, so they pretty much gave him a shot at this title. They pretty much gave him a shot at this title right here. So he'll be able to get a shot at the interim WBA World Welterweight title, which will be the #1 contender for Keith Thurman's title. So he had this fight, you know, in Panama. It's in Panama. The week that he met with the WBA president. And then the WBA president was likely said, like, oh, yeah, Shane Mosley, you cool. Don't worry, I'll hook you up. You want to fight for a title again? Yo, bro, you Shane Mosley. Don't worry, I got you, man. Got you. The WBA is fucked up. Nah. This is so delicious, man. Yep, that's what it was. The WBA thought, Roman, that they were going to make money off of Shane Mosley. That's what it was. No Name Boxing TV. I haven't heard of them. Is that like a pun? No Name Boxing TV? I haven't heard of them. I don't watch other people's shit. I can't do it. I can't do it. I get pissed. Literally, I'm not bullshitting. I noticed that it's people that's doing shit that I was the first person. I know I was. I was the first person doing it. Now everybody trying to put it this way. This is what you have going on YouTube now. People are trying to get rich off of YouTube. And when it comes to YouTube and boxing, you can only get as many views for boxing that there are boxing fans to a certain extent, you know, unless you have people searching for, you know, big fights. So getting rich off of YouTube for boxing is just not, it's not going to happen. What you have people doing is they're quitting their day jobs and depending on YouTube income. So if there's not big fights going on, or if there's not, you know, a lot of boxing going on, then they got to resort to whole ass tactics to get views, to keep that income up, you know. So, you know, like YouTube, the YouTube boxing community is not what it used to be anymore, you know. And I was never really a part of the YouTube boxing community because they, like, you know, was acting like I didn't exist. But now it's just, you know, the shit is contaminated, man. The shit is contaminated. Niggas be lying in their titles and not the same anymore. It's not the same anymore. Why you keep talking about Mike Alvarado, man? Fury at Klitschko. I want to go with Fury. I'm a big Fury fan, for those who know. But for some reason, I think Klitschko's going to pull it off. For some reason, I think Klitschko's going to pull it off. I'm eating a Hot Pocket. I'm eating a chicken and cheese Hot Pocket. I'm eating a chicken and cheese Hot Pocket. And it's so delicious. I'm showing love, man. Mike Alvarado's clean. Okay. Okay. Yes, Mike Alvarado, he fights next week. Okay. Are you from Colorado, nigga? Are you Mike Alvarado? You Mike Alvarado, aren't you? I'm not going to say your name. I just realized what your name said. You got some freak-ass name. Well, see, you should be smart enough these days to know it's not a full fight if the video is only like 30 seconds. But see, what it is it's about the search engines. Like, what happens is, after a major fight goes off, you have people that come to YouTube and they type in such and such full fight. But then you see another nigga video, and then what he does is he disables the like bar because he's too much of a goddamn pussy to deal with people disliking his video. And then what he does is he deletes negative comments. He deletes negative comments, so his shit all seems positive. Niggas be freaks and thirsty, man. Niggas be freaks and thirsty. Like, put it this way. If I started putting that full fight shit in my titles and shit, you know how many subscribers I would have? You know how many views I would have? I would be eating. But no, this sucker shit. This sucker shit. That sucker shit. Can't do it. Can't do it. Like when people say shit like, oh, such and such has more subscribers than you and all that, I say the niggas are fucking look what they doing. Like this shit is what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Because it's sucker shit. Because if you're interviewing boxers, right, or you're calling yourself media, but yet you are misleading people, you know, that for, put it this way, everybody has their little methods to increase their viewership. But when you just doing just blatant ass shit like that, that's just, you know, like I would feel bad. Like I would feel bad, like if I meet somebody, I met some big name people. For example, I met Al Heyman, I met various different PBC, you know, and Golden Boy and all those people. I would feel bad if they watch my channel and they say, "Oh yeah, I watched the video," and they say, "Well, why don't you put full fight in your title if it's not the full fight?" I would be like, "Oh, what you gonna tell them?" You know, it's just like, it's like, how can I put it? It's unprofessional. It's just unprofessional. Al Heyman is tall as fuck and his hands are cold as ice, and you can tell he used to hoop. You can tell he used to hoop. Go check out my Jacobs versus Mora post-fight results. That shit is just like it's and the reason why people do it is because literally you get what's called those surfer clicks, where people will click your video, and they think it's the full fight, then they won't watch it anymore. But see, the view still counts, and you still get paid for it. You still get paid for it. You know, but that's what happens. What happens is, I know the deal. People quit their jobs, you know, because they get a YouTube video, maybe 1 or 2 to the pop, and they'll quit their jobs, their day jobs, whatever they do. And then if there's not boxing on, or if it's not enough boxing or big fights going on, they have to, you know, get their views some type of way. You know, they have to get their views some type of way. But it didn't used to be like that before. Before, on YouTube, if you would do that shit, you would get a let's call it a community guideline strike. You know, they would pretty much shut your channel down. No, it don't bring your rank down. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Yeah, people think YouTube money is easy, but see what it is YouTube is oversaturated now with people. Everybody thinks they can just cover boxing. So therefore, you got so many people covering boxing, and they're not bringing anything really different than the other nigga bringing. You know, so it's people scratching and clawing for views. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing as many videos, is because I said, you know what? I'm going to fall back, watch, and perfect my craft, and come up with some more new shit. Because how it all started is people would start taking my titles, you know, like putting the same titles in and shit. People would start, you know, people wearing hoodies and shit now in their video. I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, like, I noticed that I'll be talking about shit in my videos, and then people would just start go doing it. People would start go doing it. But see, like I said, when it comes to YouTube, the days of becoming a millionaire or, you know, a big YouTube celebrity off of boxing, it's not happening anymore. Those days are done. There was a guy by the name of JR Sports Brief. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He used to do big numbers on YouTube. Now he can't do shit. Why? It's because the whole landscape has changed. You know? The whole landscape has changed. I'm not doing no fucking Ratchet and Clank videos. Yes, Lomachenko did offer $300K of his own purse, and he was going to put it into the contract for Nicholas Walters to fight him. Nicholas Walters turned it down. Nicholas Walters turned it down. Like, it's no excuses I can make for Nicholas Walters. It's no excuses I can make for him. He thought he was going to get that Al Heyman money, you know, or he thought he should be getting that Al Heyman money, but Al Heyman not paying his fighters like he was before. Not paying his fighters like he was before. That hot pocket was good than a motherfucker. No, I'm not saying people can't wear hoodies. I just noticed that shit is just, it just seems like a coincidence. It just seems like a coincidence. And also, what you'll notice is there's not too many people that do videos like I do, where you can actually see the person. They do the different fucking you know, screenshots. What do you call it? What do you call it? Where they show the different images instead of them. Niggas be scared to get on the camera. Like, a lot of people don't know that I started wearing hoodies in my videos because I got real bad asthma. And I have the air conditioner on. Like right now, it's a very cool and controversial 63 degrees in here. So it be cold as fuck in here. So in order to not get a cold, I wear hoodies. Then I said, well, I'm not gonna keep wearing the same hoodie every video. So therefore I started buying hoodies like every week. Right now I have 23 hoodies. I'm starting to thank you, Mike Alvarado, because you keep talking about Mike Alvarado. Hold on, let me get some juice. Hold on for a minute. Let me get some juice. Boy. I said I'm juicing, so what? No, it's Turkey Hill green tea mango. I've been fucking that shit up. No, I freeze. It'd be cold and shit in here. It'd be cold and shit. It'd be cold and shit. I don't what happened was I stopped buying Phillies hats because I got them all. I got like almost all colors. And that's when I just started switching it up to Jordan hats. That would be awesome if I would able to put my temperature on 23, but it only goes down to like 60. So I'm going to cover Mike Alvarado next fight, man. Calm down. No, I don't play The Witcher 3. I play Fallout, Black Ops 3, and NBA 2K16 and Grand Theft Auto. That's it. That's it. But yeah, we got about 20 or so minutes left. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? You guys want to talk about? Tired of shit. Plus, I got to get on a nebulizer. I got to get on the neb treatments. Bad numbers. Post-all crow fall. If I'm correct, Bob Arum said he would be happy if Crawford versus Post-all did 100,000. I think they can do 100,000 buys. I think they could probably do 75,000 pay-per-view buys. Just off of Omaha alone. Omaha really rides for Terrence Crawford. They really ride for him. I'm cold as shit right now. Cold as fuck. But see what it is like, since I have breathing issues, if the air wasn't on, I'd be using so much energy talking that I'd be sweating like a motherfucker. So yeah, Golovkin versus Lemieux did somewhere around 100K. I believe I heard 90. It did somewhere around 100K. They wanted to do 150, but then they were talking 200K, and I knew that just wasn't going to happen. Yeah, that's true. Streaming does heavily. No, I don't put no sweater on my dog. He's got fur. Streaming does heavily hurt boxing. I don't stream. My fucking cable bill is behind shit. I don't stream shit. What's up, everybody? Send one like from a Chico. Oh, yeah, I'll put a 1. Okay, bro, I'll put a 1. There you go. All right, we got about 15. Yes, yes, Al Heyman does run Mayweather Promotions. Al Heyman, a lot of people may not know, Al Heyman is literally like Floyd Mayweather's dad. Like, Al Heyman is more important to Floyd Mayweather than his own father, than Floyd Sr. And that's true. That's true. Yeah, Broner is on his way to being a gatekeeper. We were talking about it earlier. I don't think that Broner will be able to fight the same fight that John Molina fought. Because Broner's not going to throw 1,000 punches. Also, Broner doesn't use angles. Yes, Jacobs is rematching Sergio Mora, July the 30th. Many thought it was going to be Andy Lee. Many wanted it to be Andy Lee, but it's not. Do I think David Haye will get a title shot? Yes, he's ranked very high by the IBF now. And if you're ranked by the IBF, you will get your title shot. Like, when it comes to the IBF and the WBL and now the WBC now, you will get your title shot if you keep winning. Who is my favorite boxing commentator? Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi and Mauro Ranallo, because he be hype as fuck and he covers SmackDown. If you sit on a big-ass ice cube, you think you will still be sweating with no air conditioner? Depends on how big the ice cube is. But then again, I want my ass all wet. That's kind of gay. David Haye is not ducking Shannon Briggs. Where you at? They're fighting in September. It's contract. The contract is signed. David Haye versus Shannon Briggs is official. Define T Street controversy. T is for Turner Street, the street I grew up on. And controversy is because when I first started, I was like controversial. I used to be drunk and crazy and breaking glass and shit and tying bread. Can David Haye beat Joshua? Yes, he has the skills too, but will he? We don't know. Remember, we don't know who Anthony Joshua is after the 7th round. We don't know who he is. Yeah, Larry Merchant is cool. Larry Merchant was great. If I was 50 years younger, I would beat your ass. I would kick your ass. Remember Leonard Elby was like, you ain't going to do nothing. Remember that? You ain't going to do nothing. Let's watch that. Let's watch that. Let's watch that. No, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. You ain't going to do nothing. You know who Leonard Elby remind me of? Remember Virgil from WWF? And Vincent from WCW, the NWO, he remind me of that nigga. No, I don't listen to Paulie Malignaggi's podcast. I heard it's very good, though. I never listened to it. For some reason, I always forget that it's on. Of course, Shannon Briggs is just looking for a buck. The heavyweight division is the best it's been since before the Klitschko era. The heavyweight division is stacked. When you look at, you know, whatever you think about these names or not, I'm just naming names. When you look at Wilder, Klitschko, Fury, Parker, Joshua, Povetkin, Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, you know, and his names, it just keeps going. You know, the heavyweight division is stacked. Shannon Briggs, David Haye. The heavyweight division is stacked. Stacked. Yeah, that's who he is. He remind me, Little Ellaby is Virgil. Yo, he like that. He like the hype man. You know, you think you really honestly think that Leonard Ellaby is running Mayweather Promotions? Come on, come on, come on, come on, man. No, the UK doesn't get respect that they deserve. They are starting to, but they still don't. UK boxing is no, I don't keep up with Don. Fuck that nigga. UK boxing is more passionate than American boxing. UK boxing is a lot more passionate. Oh, by the way, Chad Dawson is fighting Alida Alvarez, and the winner will get the winner of Stevenson versus Williams. So Chad Dawson is fighting in a title eliminator, basically. Yeah, the UK has 13 or 14 champs, if I'm correct. I forgot the number. Yes, over Verdejo. I already answered who wins between DeGale and Jack. I said DeGale. They were talking about on HBO that they don't see Lomachenko ever fighting at 140 or 147. Him and Pacquiao are the same size, and Pacquiao moved up those weight classes. I can see him fighting at 147 pounds in the future. Yeah, but seriously though, you really, think that Leonard Ellerbe runs Mayweather Promotions? He's just a spokesperson. That's all he is. And he blocked me on Twitter too. He was pissed because I was really going hard on his goatee, like on videos and shit. Like I did this video. Let me show you the video I did. Hold on. And word is that he watched it. With his stupid ass face. Let me stop, man. Let me stop talking about Ellerbe. I was going in on his goatee. But that goatee was fucked up, man. Whoever cut his goatee like that should have been fired. I know Floyd probably was looking like, yo, you gonna be covering my fucking fights with this shit? That fucked up ass goatee. I did this video right here. I did this video right here. He was pissed. But listen, I'm just reporting the news. LB ain't shit. This is what Floyd Sr. said. Floyd and Roger Sr. And Roger said. I didn't say it. But then I started talking about his goatee. And truth be told, Leonard Ellerbe do look like one of those dudes that's just a freak. He like one of them dudes that hire strippers and like women of the night, and he like paid them to eat their pussy, but he don't fuck. He seemed like one of them type dudes. Like he'll eat a bitch pussy all night, but don't fuck, and just leave all his $100 bills on the table next to the bed. Yeah, that goatee was fucked up. The shit was growing in his mouth, man. Shit was growing in his mouth. Yeah, I didn't talk too much about Ali already. He do. Ellerbe just like a freak ass dude, yo. Like the chick be like, so you want some pussy, daddy? He be like, no, I just want to eat your pussy. He be done. He rub his mouth like this. Rub the juice off. Rub the juice off with the fucking Steve Harvey suits. Ass eating nigga. Anyway. Yeah, I know, man. I can't talk about Ali in this video, man. I can't do it. Light heavyweight division is growing. It's not as stacked as the heavyweight, but it's growing. Name top 3 heavyweights. Be honest. The top 3 right now, in my opinion, active. We're not talking about Manny. We're not talking about Pacquiao, and we're not talking about Mayweather. So I'm going to say Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, in my personal opinion, Errol Spence, and then number 4, Danny Garcia. If Eubank beats Golovkin, that would be a big upset. The biggest upset in a long ass time. Yeah, that's fucked up. Joe Frazier didn't get no respect after he died. Active, non-Heyman. It's too late for that, man. I'm a little tired to be answering that. No, I got peach fuzz. I keep the Jason Statham. I'm gonna show you the hairstyle I got. I keep a little peach fuzz up there. I will never be completely bald. I don't want no shiny ass fucking head. I know it's kind of tough. I know it's kind of tough, but that's the look I'm going for. Going for the Jason Statham. See, I keep hair on the sides, and I got a little more hair up the top than he do. But Jason Statham is a fucking badass. That's the style I go for. Go for the Jason Statham. Yeah, I watch documentaries on Scientology. I know all about Scientology and shit. Lord Xenu. Why doesn't Laura call out Andrade? Well, Andrade's been inactive. So yeah, it's this Scientology store. Not my store. I mean, but this little Scientology church here in Philly. I walk by it sometimes. I get a little scared. I be wanting to go in, but I be thinking they're gonna probably try to what the e-meter where you gotta hold the fucking things and shit. Probably put me on there. Like I be scared, yo, that they gonna like recruit me. Then you gotta give them their money. Yeah, LeBron just won't let go. I get kind of jealous of LeBron, though. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm thinking like, damn, man, you know, how'd you get that? LeBron just need to give it up. He won't. But I keep hair like on the sides, and I keep like peach fuzz at the top. You know, and I tell the barber, keep it low, bro. Keep it low. And he be like, I can't go that low, bro. I be like, keep it low, nigga. Keep it low. That should be like the grain. Yeah, you gotta pay. You gotta pay money to Scientology to learn more. The more money you pay, the more you learn and shit. And you start learning about fucking Lord Xenu and fucking I forgot what they're called. The little spirits that float from the volcano and come down and shit. You from Philly, Rob? The Scientology church is like on, that's like 12th and Arch or some shit. It's like 12th and Arch. It's like 12th and Arch. But when I walk past, I cross the street. Because it'd be like this lady looking out the window. But anyway, can Chris Eubank Jr. beat GGG now? No bullshit. I don't think so. No. Yup, is right. Yup, it's in Chinatown. It's right before you get to Chinatown. Yup, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's like on like 12th and Arch, like 13th or 12th and Arch or some shit. Yeah, I've been left Delaware. I've been left Delaware. What would be my reaction if Golovkin failed the drug test? Oh, I got to crucify him. Listen, y'all be thinking I'd be, for some reason, I don't know why, but people be thinking I'd be extra riding for these fighters. You know, if you fail the drug test, I got to crucify you. You know, just like when people, with some, oh, you know, this guy will never say nothing bad about Pacquiao. Shit. Yeah, those audit sessions. They got this they got the little machine with the two fucking silver cylinders, and you got to hold on to them and shit. And they start telling you what you did wrong and why you need the fucking Lord Xenu in your life. L. Ron Hubbard. My favorite fight of all time, to be perfectly honest with you, people are going to think it's crazy, but it's because that's who I grew up watching. It's Oscar De La Hoya. I grew up watching him. You know, I remember as a teenager, like I ain't gonna lie, I cried when he lost to Trinidad. All right, I was like fucking 14, man. All right, I was a fucking kid. I was just a boy. I was just a boy. All right, Corey, Amari, or Emery, whatever the fuck your name is, you got a shout out, bro. I like De La Hoya before the drag, before the fucking picture where he had his fucking, where he got the fucking glass and he turned around, he turned around like this with the hat on, and he got that one picture where we got the thong on his ball sticking out. Nah, bro. I was a fan, like I was a real big fan of De La Hoya before all the coke and shit. And plus, I'm real cool with his baby mom. She's sexy as fuck. This is a true story. I'm real cool with his baby mom. Is he done or is he finished? But it is true. Oscar De La Hoya lost all his big fights, especially after he got on that coke and started dressing in drag. It's over. It's over. It's over. Unsubscribe then, nigga. You're going to be replaced by 2 more. I hate when people tell me, oh, I'm unsubscribing. Just do it. What type of bitch shit is that? Just do it. Just do it. 2 more will replace you, buddy. 2 more will replace you, buddy. Fucking jerk. You no good son of a bitch. No, let me tell you what happened with De La Hoya. De La Hoya was my first interview ever in life. And I had found out about the press conference. It was the first press conference for Kovalev versus Hopkins. I found out about 3 or so hours before it actually took place. I had a real bad asthma attack, like the day before, but I made it down there. One thing I noticed about De La Hoya is, like, before I interviewed him, he was like in the corner, but he was like, he had his hands in his pockets, and he was like moving around, like all fidgety, and talking to himself a little bit. Like, you know how like coke heads, if they do a lot of drugs, they be having like that twitch. Like, he was looking like that. So I saw him, I'm peeping him, I'm watching him, and I'm like, damn, he's right there. Like, I gotta interview him. You know, because people was like, you know, this one people used to clown me like, this guy's living in his mom's basement. He don't ever get out, do no interviews and all kind of shit like that. So I said, if I don't interview him, then, you know, I'm never going to be where I want to be. So I went to interview him. I mean, he was cool, you know. And actually, I was the first person to interview him about James Kirkland. I was the first person to interview about James Kirkland. But yeah, De La Hoya, a cool dude. I interviewed him a couple times. No, he wasn't like, De La Hoya wasn't like fidgeting like he had it was like, it's like that crackhead twitch. I'm not being disrespectful. It's like that crackhead, cokehead twitch he had. You can tell he's did a lot of drugs. You ever watch like press conferences of like De La Hoya when he got out of rehab? How he'll be like in the back of the press conference laughing and like, you know, twitching and shit. Look at the Iris Lindy Laura. No, it wasn't Laura. I forgot what press conference it was, but he was on some real freak shit. Yeah, that's what it was. Now, mind you, this De La Hoya's a multimillionaire. And he just was like, he was off away from everybody else with his hands in his pockets, like looking down to the ground and like mumbling shit to himself. So I'm looking at him thinking like, damn, it was kind of sad because I'm looking like, damn, he really like kind of fucked up. He really kind of fucked up. You can listen, you can tell that, you know, he did a lot of fucking drugs. But I interviewed him, you know, he pulled this shit together. Like, but it was sad seeing him like that. I ain't gonna lie. I was looking at him for a nice little while because it took me a while to get up like the energy to go over there and interview him. Be honest, will you ever bet GGG other than Mayweather? You got to rephrase that. I don't know what you mean. You got to rephrase that. No. De La Hoya did not lose that second fight to Shane. No, he didn't, and that further contributed to his depression and his relapse. But one thing about De La Hoya, though, even though he dressed like a bitch, he not gay or nothing. That's one thing about De La Hoya. He fucked He fucked a lot of women. A lot of women. I'm going to Thurman versus Porter fight week. And I don't know who I'm going to interview next, but I'm going to Thurman versus Porter fight week. I want to talk to Keith Thurman again. When it comes to Oscar De La Hoya versus Trinidad, it's kind of his fault. He let off the gas. Everybody knows that. He let off the gas. You know, he thought he was winning. He didn't finish the job. He left it up to the judges. Remember when he was walking back to the locker room after the Trinidad fight? He was pissed. He started knocking all this shit over. I gave him a fucking boxing lesson. See, people be acting like I don't do interviews. I have done like 100 and something interviews. I got a whole section on my channel dedicated to interviews. I've done a lot of interviews in a short period of time. In a short ass period of time when people didn't think I would never get interviews. I did a lot of interviews. I even got a nice one with Keith Thurman where he was talking about like the WBA situation, how he couldn't get the fight with Floyd because the WBA wouldn't order it. I did an interview with Deontay Wilder talking about Alexander Povetkin. You know, I did a lot of interviews. I did a lot of interviews. Even when it comes to the people that were helping me, I had like people that were helping me doing interviews. You know, like over on the West Coast, we did a lot of shit, man. Especially when it came to Mayweather versus Pacquiao. I covered that like no other channel. I had like exclusive ass promos and, you know, like shit was lit over here for that. Shit was lit. I don't know, man. Christina Poncha got a fat ass butt. I'm not being disrespectful, but she's sexy as fuck. Christina Poncha, fine. She's sexy. That chick is the shit. Not Michelle Joy Phelps. No, if you met her in person, nah, I met her in person. Her ass is not fat. She's sexy as fuck, but her ass is not fat. She got the flat white girl butt. Trust me, bro. I've met her in person. It is not. No, it's not. No, it may not be Photoshop. This is that, you know, like chicks know how to take like angles and all kind of shit like that. Because I thought that she would be like, when I first met her, I thought that she would be one of them chicks that had a fat butt. Then I looked, I'm like, oh, it's just regular. No, I don't be hitting on them chicks. Nah. You got to be professional when you be at these fights, man. Like when you be in like you got to be professional. I don't really watch Estrella TV. The reason why I don't watch it is because the same fights that come on Estrella TV come on ringtv.com. So I normally watch on Ring TV. My top 5 pound for pound list right now, it's Andre Ward. I'm going to put Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, even though I don't believe it because other motherfuckers put him. I'm going to put Adrian Broner. Golovkin. He has 3 belts. Sergey Kovalev, Tyson Fury, and I know my list may be fucked up because I'm thinking off the top of my head. Dana Garcia. I think that Malik Scott took a dive against Wilder. I think Malik Scott took a dive. Yeah, Lomachenko's in the top 10, but he's not in the top. He's not in the top. He's not in the top 5. I put DSG in my pound for pound. It's because he's still undefeated. Golovkin has 3 belts. Golovkin has the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA Super World. He has 3. He has 3. Oh. Who got the ugliest wife in boxing? I don't know. I don't be looking at these. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of fucked up to be talking about a boxer's wife. It's kind of fucked up. Somebody count that fucking IBO belt. Don't nobody count the IBO belt no more. He be repping it, though. Ruslan be repping his IBO belt. No, Bradley's wife not ugly. She just fat. How high do you rate Jamie McDonald? The guy who beat Kamagai? No. Yoshihiro Kamagai is a 147-pound fighter. You mean the guy who beat Kameda? Jimmy McDonald's pretty good. Because remember, nobody thought he was going to win that first fight. And then he beat him again. Do I think Cotto is gay? I think just Cotto is like really deep in there with the Christmas presents. He like really he's like he's deep in the closet, like on the top shelf with the Christmas presents. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Because for one, why are you sleeping with that man, bruh? You know? And why are you remember on the HBO 24/7 when they were sleeping in the same bed and they woke up to go fucking brush their teeth or some shit, and then Cotto stuck his finger up his butt? That's just not shit right with me, man. Then you kissing him. And then there's another picture where he's like giving him like a lap dance, twerking on him. You know, then there's another picture where Cotto was sparring in a tutu. You know, Cotto is on some freak shit, man. One time I saw him, this was before the Sergio Martinez fight. He walking into the wild card gym with these fucking pink Crocs on with all these flowers and shit with this little ass fucking dog, holding the dog like this. Like, come on, man. Cotto's on some freak shit, man. Yeah, and those tights. I want to see your scrotum, dog. What the fuck is wrong with you? Put some fucking, man, I want to see that shit. Yeah, put it this way. Cotto's wife is not really like super attractive. She just sexier than a motherfucker. It's a difference between being attractive and sexy. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. But yeah, Cotto's a freak. Can Artur Beterbiev beat Kovalev? Artur Beterbiev is good. Artur Beterbiev is good. Would I share a bed with Floyd Sr.? What the fuck, man? Where do y'all get these questions from, man? Where y'all getting these questions from? What are you guys doing, man? Yeah, Cotto's wife is thick. And sometimes you could tell, like looking at her like her Instagram, because I be all over, she be thirst trapping. I don't think Cotto be smashing. Cotto be too busy sleeping with his fat friend. And that guy, something about that guy don't sit right with me, man. You can tell she be thirst trapping. She be taking all these fucking freak ass pictures. Artur Beterbiev is good, but yo, isn't he like 10-0 or 11-0? He ain't really fought nobody yet. But I do like the fact that he's fighting big name fighters or known fighters with a record that has less than 11 or 10 wins. You know, remember he fought Tavoris Cloud when he was like 5-0. You know, he fought Gabriel Campillo when he was like 7-0 or 8-0 or some shit like that. Will Roman retire undefeated? No. And HBO just be sucking his dick. Walters is not getting the pass. We already talked about that, bro. We talked about that earlier. Cotto's wife on Instagram is called Goose Melly something. I'm gonna look it up real quick. It's Goose Melly something. Type in Melissa Guzman. It's Guzmelly Cotto. It's Guzmelly Cotto. See, look. Hold on, I'm gonna show it to you. She be thirst trapping, man. Y'all can see that? She be thirst trapping, man. That's her name right there, Guzmali Cotto. Look, can't you see that hunger in her eyes? Can't you see that hunger? That's the hunger, bro. Can't you see that hunger? It's fine like a motherfucker, man. I tear it up. I tear it up. I will tear it up. Yeah, that's you could tell. Look at her face. You can tell she just begging for it, man. She's begging for it. Her name could be Kulo. Should be Kulo. Chulo. Whatever that fucking means. But yeah, like I said, she's not like pretty attractive. She's like sexy as fuck. That's what that is. That's what that is. Like throwing a hot dog at down a hallway. No, but she's not getting none. Cotto not popping. Cotto not popping. What do you think about Eubank Jr. versus Kell Brook? I'm not answering that dumbass question, Antonio. I'm sorry, bro. No disrespect. I'm not answering that shit. No, his last fight wasn't a title eliminator. His next fight is going to be a title eliminator. It's supposed to be. Remember, before he got hurt, he was the #1 contender for Kovalev's IBF title, meaning Artur to BF, but he got hurt. He got hurt. But he will be getting a title shot within the next like year or so. Let's see what time it is. I've already been on here for 2 hours and fucking 15 minutes. You sure about that? I watched the fight. You sure it was for a title eliminator? I'm not sure about that, bro. I'm not sure. I'll check though, but I'm not sure. Yes, Verdejo is still a prospect. I covered not this fight, but the one before that. But anyway, what is what y'all keep telling me y'all love me, man? Y'all grown ass men. Calm down. I mean, I love you guys too, I guess. But calm down. Shit's pissing me off. Nah, I don't think Roman Gonzalez is ducking Estrada. I think HBO is going to make that fight. They've been talking about it. That may be his next fight. What they're trying to do with Chocolatito is they're trying to get him to be on his own cards and not be carried by glove cards. They want him to be his own star. Andre looked good. He was a little aggressive, a little too aggressive. You can tell. He was trying to put on a show, but you know he did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, I knew. Like, it's a difference between being in the IBF eliminator and being, you know, the #1 by the IBF. It's a difference. It's a difference. For example, when Kubrat Pulev fought Derek Chisora, he fought to be one of the #1 guys by the IBF, but yet Joseph Parker fought Carlos Takam in an IBF eliminator for to be #1 contender for the title. Cotto don't got shit on Trinidad. Trinidad wasn't no bitch. Trinidad may have retired early multiple times, but he wasn't no bitch. But we talked about Golovkin already. And first of all, Golovkin's not moving up anywhere no time soon. He's not moving up anywhere no time soon. So I'm not entertaining that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Josecito Lopez. He didn't fight since like, what's that, last March when he fought? Last March. He's been off over a year. Yeah, Lopez hasn't fought since he fought Andre Berto. Yeah, Golovkin's not moving up anytime soon. People keep saying he's going to move up to fight Gilberto Ramirez, but here's the thing: when you fight for the WBO title, you can't be a champion in a lower weight class. So basically, what it is if he fights Gilberto Ramirez for the WBO title at 168 pounds, then he has to give up his 160-pound titles, and I don't think he's going to do that. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah, that video of Bertabiev and Kovalev is on the internet. Like, I feel that he should fight Billy Joe Saunders, get that WBO title, and then fight maybe 2 to 3 fights defending his titles, and then move up to 168. Then move up to 168. Meaning Golovkin. Like, I don't see any type of logic in him moving up right now when he's got 3 of the 4 belts. The last undisputed champion of the world was Jermaine Taylor. I don't see why people are saying he should move up. Get that belt, then move up. Do I believe in catch weights? Not really. Not really. I'm not really fully against them because I know so much about the politics in boxing, but I'm not really against it because you can be, because if the fighter signs off for a catch weight, then he can't bitch and complain if he loses. He can't say, well, you know, he drained me, man. I didn't want to fight. No, nigga, you signed the contract. You signed the contract. You can't bitch and be like, man, he drained me, man. If I was at my real weight, fuck out of here with that shit. Yeah, I think Andrade will beat one of the Charlos, if not both of them. If not both of them. Well, technically, you kind of contradicted what you said, lovely T-Rocks, whatever your name is. Catch weights work if both fighters are of different divisions. Oh, I thought you said in the same division. My bad. Yeah, I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying. Luis Ortiz is the real deal. People keep saying, you know, why won't Wilder fight Luis Ortiz? Well, and they say, why is Luis Ortiz not ranked by the WBC or any other organizations? Luis Ortiz is WBA interim champion. So when you're an interim champion or a champion by another sanctioning bodies, you can't be ranked. So there's nothing politically that will make Wilder and Luis Ortiz meet. Now, here's the good thing. Luis Ortiz will get the winner of Fury versus Klitschko. So we're likely going to see, if Fury wins, Fury versus Luis Ortiz. who got the best gym right now. I don't know. I haven't been to all the gyms, so I don't know. Remember Robert Garcia used to be like the it guy? Okay. I said that already, man. I said that about Andrade. You late, bruh. We talked about Andrade earlier in the video. Andrade gets a title shot after Charles Hatley gets his title shot. We talked about that. You're not telling me nothing I don't already know. Charles Hatley is the #1 contender for the WBC title at 154 pounds. Then after that is going to be Andrade. Several months ago, the WBC announced a tournament at 154 pounds for Andrade to fight Charles Hatley, but something happened where they decided to go to go other routes. All right, relax, Corey, chill out, man. All right, I'm just a little, it's late. I'm a little cranky. My chest is hurting. David Price, I don't know. You know, David Price, I don't have any more faith in him right now. He's got to do some more winning, a lot more winning. But then again, the guy that beat him and knocked him out and put him under the turnbuckle, you know, was juicing. Erkan Teeper was juicing. So no, Andrade is not an Al Heyman fighter. He is a Banner Promotions and Star Boxing's fighter. But now he's fighting on Showtime. So, you know, he's not a Al Heyman fighter though. All these guys want to be Al Heyman fighters, or they wanted to, but now Al Heyman is not paying his fighters the same money he was paying them before. Those guys are making about 30 to 40% less than what they were making before from Al Heyman. And it's crazy because Terrence Crawford's manager, Cameron Duncan, was telling Terrence Crawford, like, listen, stick with me, because I believe at one point in time, from my understanding, that Terrence Crawford was close to signing Al Heyman or thinking about going with Al Heyman. But Cameron Duncan had told him, you know, eventually that money over there, I'm just paraphrasing, that money over there with Al Heyman is going to dry up. He's paying all these fighters these outrageous dollars now, but eventually he's not going to be able to do that. And Bob Arum said the same thing. Now, look, PBC fighters' purses are significantly lower. For example, one of the reasons why Thurman versus Porter is on CBS is because PBC couldn't foot the bill. So basically, Showtime is paying for the fight, but they're putting it on CBS, calling it PBC. It's a weird situation. Weird situation. Terrence Crawford has some issues. He's good, really good, but Terrence Crawford takes too many clean shots sometimes. Remember, he took some clean shots from Hank Lundy and some clean shots from Gamboa and Delorme. PBC is doing better now as far as they're not spending as much money as they used to. But PBC still has some issues. PBC still has some real major issues. If people are still talking about how, you know, if people are still in denial about what's going on with PBC, then, you know, no. PBC is not doing, like, they're stable now. But at one point in time, they were hemorrhaging money. Like, they were spending way too much. But now they found like a level ground to where they're not overpaying their fighters, and also they're not spending as much money. For example, did you notice that when it comes to guys like Marv Albert or Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, they're not doing commentary anymore like they was? Or when it comes to remember the PBC version of 24/7, they're not doing those anymore. There's a lot of different cuts that they've done, you know, that I can talk about. And trust me, I know. No, PBC is not making a profit. Not yet. Not yet. I'm looking at it like this. They're not losing as much money as they were before. They're not losing as much money as they were before, but they're not making any money. For example, PBC is likely not going to be on national television next year. Why? because they only had a 2-year contract with NBC and a 1-year contract with ESPN. Billy Joe Saunders has the WBO title. Yeah, exactly. See, I want PBC to do well, but I saw what PBC's issues were. You know, PBC is good for boxing. You know why? Because for people who work in boxing media, it gives us extra work. You know, which means puts extra money in our pockets. But they were just doing so many things wrong. For example, just overpaying their boxers. Because what happens with PBC is when there were fights on national television like CBS and NBC, they were paying for those fights, you know, out of PBC money, and wasn't bringing any money in. So, like, those fights were at a loss, to where when it comes to Thurman versus Porter, Showtime is paying for the fight. So it's not a loss. Well, CBS, and you know CBS is the parent of Showtime. Yes, PBC is good for business. I mean, it is good for boxing. It is good for boxing. We're not talking about Muhammad Ali's death anymore. That's I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. It's not, you know, that's not how I roll. I did one video on it, a nice in-depth video. I'm not doing it anymore. It's done. You know, aren't you Muhammad Ali out this week? Just way too much Muhammad Ali. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. Also, let me tell you something else about Al Heyman. People say Al Heyman protects his fighters too much. I don't necessarily believe that's true. Why is Al Heyman gives his fighters too much freedom to decide who they are and are not going to fight? Al Heyman to come to you and say, well, will you fight such and such? But then that fighter will say, no, I'm not fighting him. I want to fight him. You know? It's not all Al Heyman. It's the fighters turning down these fights and picking these guys. For example, Danny Garcia, you know, picked Rod Salka. Danny Garcia and his pop picked Rod Salka. They picked Rod Salka. I used to fight years and years ago. The last time I actually sparred was in 2012. So people think that Al Heyman be telling these people, you know, these fighters, oh, you're going to fight this guy and all kind of stuff like that. He will, but a lot of people don't know that it's the fighters that are picking these bullshit fights. It's the fighters because he spoiled his fighters. He spoiled them. That's why they love him so much, because he pays them to fight low-tier fights. He pays them to fight low-tier fights. No, what happened with the Rod Salka fight, what happened with the, no, you don't know. That's not right, Andres. What happened with the Rod Salka fight is, okay, I can't really talk about it. It's not really my place, but that fight was supposed to happen. But, you know, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But no, it wasn't, the Rod Salka fight wasn't a buildup for Lamont Peterson. It was some other shady shit that happened, and it's not my place. No, I don't got the crazy bitch stalking me anymore. She probably is. I wouldn't know. You know, stalkers are, you know, stalkers. Heyman does both. Heyman is an advisor and a promoter. You might as well say, come on, come on. Heyman does both. When you're paying the fighters, you're a promoter. You know, that's the simplest way to put it. If your name is writing the checks for the fighters, you're the promoter. The promoter is supposed to be the one writing the checks. Al Heyman writes the checks. Al Heyman writes the checks. Salka actually had some good wins after Danny Garcia, and now he's like in politics or something now. But listen, guys, I've already been on here for damn near 3 hours. So what's going to be this long? I had a bad stalker, a bad stalker. She wanted nothing but pain and suffering from me, and she did, and she still does. She still does. Al Heyman found the way around the Muhammad Ali Act, because see, he's not registered as a promoter, or he's not registered as a manager. He made up his own position, which is an advisor. Yeah, she had a fat butt and big titties, but you know, I wouldn't say she was. You know, I don't really want to talk about it. That bitch damn near tried to ruin my life. She really did. And if it wasn't for YouTube, YouTube saved my life. YouTube saved my life. Yes, Vargas and Brooke. Vargas versus Brooke is on September the 3rd. It's on September the 3rd. But listen, it's 3:51. I've been on here for about 2 hours, 45 minutes, some shit. This video has actually helped with my breathing. So what I'm likely going to do is starting next week, since I'm over the whole asthma thing, I'm going to get back to doing videos. Oh, YouTube saved my life is because she tried to accuse me of doing something when I was on YouTube. So the cops had subpoenaed YouTube and got the footage from YouTube, and I was, you know, it was a crazy situation. It was a crazy situation. It was a crazy situation. But all right, guys, I'm going to see you guys next week. Go follow me on Twitter, you know, if you want to keep up with me, and go check out my my Facebook page, and also holler at me on Instagram at T Street Controversy. In fact, all my links to my social media are right down below in the description box. I gotta go get on the nebulizer, go walk the dog, and go to bed. So I'll see you guys later. T Street Controversy Live.